While many individuals are eager to stay informed about global events, not everyone has the time or capacity to prioritize their mental well-being. It's important to recognize how the constant influx of information can significantly impact on our health, both positively and negatively. We will delve into mental health awareness and its various dimensions. While our discussions may touch on related topics, we will consistently focus on health and well-being. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here.
It's been a long time coming.
I am here. Listen, this has been what's the word? I feel like this is my purpose. Like, I feel like podcasting, I would say it became popular during COVID, right before COVID?
Well, it's been popular before COVID, but it just pretty much pivoted and then started breaking new limits around the time because most people had the time to be either at home focusing their energy in something more positive to keep you from having a mental breakdown. And it's been an avenue that it had made careers for different type of people in different genres. Just being able to open up and speak to different people, to different audiences, and cater to the masses. This is a beautiful thing, and we're all able to benefit from it. And especially in this platform now, directing it to the giant in the room that's been unnoticed for a long time or easily ignored because it's just there.
Right. I'm going to say, so I dealt with mental health issues during COVID. I lost probably about 8 family members, from my best friend to my grandfather to my aunt, uncle, great aunt. And again, these weren't all due to COVID. It was just during COVID. My stepfather passed away from COVID. So it took a toll on me. I didn't realize that my body was mentally stressed. I kept going to work. Well, we were working from home because it was COVID. Everything was shut down, but I'm working from home. So not realizing that I'm overstressing my body until one day my old director said, T, I think you should just take a break. So I took some time off of work, found a therapist. It helped a lot. I'm going to say that because of the upbringing, you have your grandmother, your mother, and they didn't, in the Black community anyway, they didn't, it was always talk to Jesus. That's your therapist. So it was never like reach out. We didn't have social media. So how do you reach out as a kid? So I think seeing a therapist really did help. I think I saw her for about 6 months. It really did help. So that's what we're here to discuss. Why, I guess, a lot of the younger generation, for instance, and this is just me watching and kind of observing them, wake up in the morning, log on to social media, all kind of negative, some positive, but mostly negative news, updates, music. So we're going to touch on a lot of that, but I wanted to give a breakdown of what we'll talk about in this podcast, not just today or not this episode, but just for the next 6 months, because I want to be able to reach out to a young generation that's afraid to speak out or afraid to admit that they need help.
Right, and that's very important to do because, as you mentioned, in society we are pressured in so many ways, and it's important that you're reaching out to the younger audience and the younger population because they are the future. So we must take accountability on how we mold them or help them shape for the future. And it's strong on your behalf, understanding the struggles that you went through and the questions that you had, and taking concern on the tomorrow's society. So this is a great part of the society scoop, understanding that we're here now, but we're also preparing the next generation for what they're going to be dealing with in the future. And if your mind is not right, nothing is going to be right. So that's the importance in mental health, directing it to the masses and putting resources together to help the children of tomorrow and the people of today. So I applaud you for the ideas that you come up with and the resources that you're willing to put forth to change tomorrow. Most people don't think like that, but that's what the Society Scoop is for.
I actually met up with an old friend of mine. Let's rewind. So I was on Facebook reaching out for just resources for African American therapists in the area. My niece, this is actually one person who kind of motivated me to push this, platform to get it out there because it's a lot of young people who need help and they're scared to reach out or they're afraid to reach out. Maybe they don't have the funds to help pay for a therapist. They don't know who to ask. So she said, Aunt Nay, I want a Black therapist. I said, okay. So I decided to make a post on Facebook. Totally slipped my mind that an old friend is a therapist in the area. She reached out. I scheduled an appointment. I went out to her facility, very, very nice facility. She answered a lot of questions. We walked around her center. So I did put that on. I shared it on my TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and my Snapchat.
And she's also going to be a part of the process with the Society Scoop. Can we get a shout out to her right now for the audience?
Camille Hayes, thank you. She'll be coming on pretty soon, maybe in a couple of weeks. We'll talk with her. We'll get some professional
insight on it. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome. For everybody that may be needing the assistance, this is one of the resources, one of many resources that we're going to be offering as part of this Society Scoop. The Society Scoop is trying to scoop up and make sure that the future is going to be great. Regardless of what you're feeling, regardless of how you're looking at the world, there's always help. Don't ever feel like you can't reach out to somebody. Right. There's always somebody. Like, this platform is built for those, whether young or older, right, to reach out and seek for the help because we're here. Yep. We struggle with some of the same struggles that you guys have perhaps lived or are dealing with at this time. And we found a way to overcome these things by the grace of God. Yes, I know earlier you mentioned talk to Jesus, and that's always should be your first go-to. But in society nowadays, since most people remove God out of the schools and stuff like that, and it's so political to speak about religion, it's kind of hard for somebody to seek something they don't know.
Or are afraid to ask because maybe they're scared they'll be pushed away or, So I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead. I like that.
Yeah, so, for the most part, we would like to seek for, the spiritual health because it takes spiritual healing for the mental to be right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's something that really takes both because if your mind is not right, you're not seeking for your spirit. But once you're introduced to healing your spirit, your mind could slowly recover until you're fully whole. And I feel like, seeking for your spirituality is something that is essential for your mental health.
So what we're doing in this first episode is pretty much just talking about what we'll be discussing throughout our podcast journey. We may talk about depression in one episode, and we may run out of time, and we may continue it in the next episode. We may talk about social media having a major impact on all of our children. We may visit that episode 3. We may visit again in episode 5. So the goal here is to be able to not give advice. I'm not a professional, so I'm not giving advice. I'm basically providing assistance from professional therapists or counselors. I'll be inviting them. Hopefully they'll be watching so they can be able to provide any type of advice, resources. Man, I'm just ready to this generation is...
We're definitely going to get the ball rolling on it. And our main focus is to provide the healing that the new generation
help provide
needs.
The healing. Yeah.
Yes, definitely help provide. And we're partnering up with great people, licensed therapists and mentors and counselors. This is what the Society Scoop is all about. Helping the community, helping the youth.
Especially because they, like you said, they are our future.
So definitely we have to invest. We're taking accountability of being part of the village that needs to be assembled for the youth of tomorrow.
And a lot of children, they are afraid to talk to their parents.
Definitely. I could see that because, honestly, me reflecting back on my youth, I was afraid to talk to my parents about certain things. And I don't know, because maybe it's a little shell-shocking to, the people that correct you, you feel like they can only correct you, not help you, right?
Right.
So at times it's like, I don't want to talk to my mom because I'm going to get in trouble for what I'm going to ask her. Or, I don't want to talk to my dad because he's just always working, and every time I talk to him, he's
busy. He's not available.
Yeah, so
he's not emotionally available. He's not physically available. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was plays on majority of kids' minds or teenagers, but it's not so, because I believe our parents are truly invested.
Right.
Growth. I seen it with you and your kids, and as well as you see me apply it in a situation with my kids. Absolutely. As well. So that's something that we have to kind of break the barrier and open the door and make them feel comfortable. So how can you make your kids feel comfortable, or your children feel comfortable, or your niece or your nephew feel comfortable? You have to be open and understanding to what they have to say and let them know, hey, no pressure. There's no wrong questions. The only wrong question is the ones that's not asked. Or
even if you don't know the answer, at least find out the information.
Involve yourself into solving the answer for them, because at that point you're showing them that you're truly invested in their needs, in their concerns, in their troubles. So definitely, as parents, we have to open up and be understanding and willing to listen, because sometimes as parents, and that's maybe why, our children are afraid to ask us certain things, because we give them a rebuttal, or no, don't do it like that, or why do you do that, right? And that might throw them back into like, that's what I want to open up to them, because they're panicking already, and it was just a question. Right. So we have to be really understanding and open to listen, like not so quick to react to what we're hearing, right? So apply the method of listening to understand, not to reply. And that could be kind of hard at times, sometimes, when you're used to being the one to give out the answers or wanting to give the right answer. So we're not focusing on understanding what is being delivered to us, but we're focused on delivering a reply to be right or sound right or direct in the right way, and all we're doing is really not in our mind, because it go back to the of ourself, the neurological side of ourself, to say, okay, I'm gonna say the right thing today. I said the right thing today. And we, instead of not only beat ourselves up, we're we're feeding our ego
Mm-hmm.
instead of answering their problems or answering their concern, and then
Right.
they're looking like, oh, wrong person to talk to. Oh, okay. And then we're thinking they got it, but they didn't get it because we were so focused on us delivering the right content. It's
And
okay
missing
to
the
tell
whole
your
point.
kids, I don't know about that, but you know what? That's an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting topic to talk about. Let's research it together. And now is a family bonding situation that you just built by understanding that, you know what, I don't have the answers, but you know what, I'll take it into consideration. Let's look at it.
Instead of them running to social media looking for the answer.
Right, because they're not going to find the right answer. They're going to get misled and lost, and
Absolutely.
then by the time you reach out to them, they're, you know,
Yep.
they're far down the rabbit hole,
Absolutely.
you know,
Yep.
hallucinating, drinking the tea, you know. So in general, you know, that's the aspect that we need to bring up, the topics that we need to address, because again, we're looking at mirrors of ourselves,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
and we watching ourselves make the same mistakes over and over, because some of the things that we struggle with in our youth, we see our children go through, and maybe you know you don't want to continue feeling bad and remembering old trauma, and you see it manifesting in your kids, and you like, oh, I don't want to talk about it because I struggle so much, and I don't want them to struggle, but we're thinking we're protecting them, but we're not.
No.
We're not protecting them at all, because we're allowing them to make the same mistakes that we did. A smart individual will learn from their problems. A wise one will learn from the problems of the other people. So let's be wise about it. We've been smart about it. We've been smart about it by solving our own problems. But the wisdom that we have to apply in every situation is observe and say, you know what? Triniashia might have seen Cesar stumble 5 times over this rug.
Mm-hmm.
Why would Triniashia walk the same path that Cesar walked, right? Right, so, and I'm only bringing that up because our children should be able to see our struggles. Should be able to know about the difficult times in our lives where we stumble.
Right.
For them to learn that, you know, we have to watch down and there's a rug there that can make us trip. So, you know.
And allowing them to experience and go through the hardships that, you know, that we go through, that'll actually give them the motivation to.
It's the cheat code. It's a cheat code. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, definitely we have to prepare the cheat code for our children because we don't want them to suffer the same way that we suffer or struggle the same way that we did. And as parents, the great thing that we can do is allow them to see that mommy and daddy had made mistakes, and for them to understand that we're not perfect. We're going to stumble.
Right.
We're going to deal with depression, but we're going to shake it off because it's not like it doesn't exist. And I believe that's the problem in society. We try to sweep it under the rug, and it's just an imaginary monster under the bed, when in reality...
And we think we're protecting our kids.
Right. Absolutely. We have to just bring awareness within ourselves.
Right.
In order to help somebody else. It's a man and woman can fall 7 times, and 8 they will rise. So we have to kind of like let our children know, you know, a lot of the struggles that I went through, I had to seek help, whether it's spiritual help, you know, regular congregation or whatever, you know, spiritual beliefs that you may have. Right. You seek the source through that, and also, you know, community help, such as people who introduce, like the Society Scoop, introduce different professionals to help the masses with the struggle of today's society, of yesterday's society, because it's really just trickled over and over and over. And we really kind of want to minimize that for the future, for the population to continue to grow in a healthy way, you know, and not struggle so much with anxiety, depression, you know, suicidal thoughts because many lives been cut short
Yep.
because of a thought, because of a misunderstanding, a circumstance that could have been talked about, but they didn't have the right
resources,
didn't have the right avenue to go to. And
but I also feel like, and when I say available resources, you can scroll on social media and you can find resources. Ads pop up, right?
Right. But that goes with the algorithm nowadays. It should be a lot easier, but I feel like because the way the algorithm work is we're talking about, mental health. So in our phones,
that's all you see.
That's all you're going to see. But to an individual who's not talking about it, that information is not going to pop up unless they search it. And the Society Scoop is one of the places who's going to continue to talk about mental health because it's a major issue in our communities. And not just the Black community, we're talking as human beings.
Right.
We're as human beings in our communities. Whatever your ethnicity or your religious background may be, there's somebody in that community that's dealing with it. And the awareness that the Society Scoop is bringing up is allowing people to say, we could tap in. They're talking about what we're dealing with. I feel like, this is a beautiful thing in the making. And it's been a long time coming, but it's manifesting. And we're here solely invested to help the next generation.
Yep.
And we can't stress that enough. Yep. We can't point it enough. We can't emphasize it enough because they are the future.
Yep.
We have to be invested in tomorrow. We live today, yeah, but we invested for the children of tomorrow.
But I also feel like it has to start from the top. If you don't have a solid foundation, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, older generation, who are they looking up to?
Right, but and that's what the Society Scoop is bringing awareness to. Because many a times, we're talking about generations of mental health being damaged. For a parent not to be in their children's life, it is passed on traumas. They might not have had that support from their parents. The parents before. Right. So we're
trying
not
to break the generational curse.
Exactly. So we understand that it's a large population of people who had missing parents, whether they've been struggling mentally or they just been absent. And for whatever reason, we're trying to fill in the void.
Yep.
We're gonna work to provide the resources for those people who don't have those parents or might not have a great aunt. Some people just go and live off the grid and, they have children galore and they don't make time to speak to their children. So this is what's been cultivating.
Exactly.
A mental health disorder that it's been like a plague spreading all over the nation, over the world, because it's not just here in America. We deal with this worldwide. It's a worldwide issue that needs to be addressed, and we're going to work together and work with other people to bring the awareness and offer the proper help for those who need it.
Yep.
And just to be an outlet for people to reach out to and say, you know what, we can find it here. It's kind of hard for me, especially for me, to find shoes, right? So with that being said, it's kind of the same issue for the rest of the people that's currently dealing with.
Because they feel like they don't fit in.
Right.
It's a box. It's specifics. So it's like, you can do this, but you can't do this. Oh, well, I guess I'm out.
Right.
And that's it.
But it's okay. Like, some people have 1 foot shorter than the other, so they might need an extra sole filling on their left foot or the right foot. So this is really what we're filling in. We're filling in with that extra sole.
And we are going to allow guests to call in. We're going to go live because, I feel like we're here for support. So I want to answer questions. I want us to be able to answer
No,
questions.
definitely. And this is what the platform is all about. You know, Triniashia is the founder of the Society Scoop, you know, and I'm thankful to be a part of the Society Scoop, allowing me to be a co-host in your show. And we're going to work together to bring the awareness to the people, to bring the help to the people, and allow people to grow mentally, right. You know, because neural trauma is so present in our society.
Absolutely.
And we reaching out to the right people and putting them in position and place for the people that need help. And that's you guys. So we are truly invested in this. As far as, so what's our first topic that we're going to discuss?
We're going to be, our next episode, we're going to discuss social media. And this everything, any broad, I mean, this is from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok to how it impacts our young children, how it impacts the society, the world. I have a list. Okay, so these are all these. Well, I have more mental health episodes that we will add as we go. But for now, we're going to discuss, our first episode will be social media. After that, I'm not going to go in specific order, but I'm going to just talk about all the episodes that we're going to just kind of like touch or discuss. So social media, depression, medication induced, workplace, stress management.
Great topic.
School, and that's in children and adults. Anxiety, social anxiety.
Definitely. That's a big, that's the big monster in the room.
I'm going to tell you another big monster in the room, and this is probably going to go under social media as well. Peer pressure or influence. I mean, that's just in general. So, I mean, again, all of these lead up to mental health issues, mental illness.
Right. Mainly all of our topics that we're going to deal with consist of the mental health, the trauma that it causes on mental health.
Also, I have more. That's not it. We got physical health, death, suicidal thoughts, or suicidal intent. We're going to talk about that as well. Death. I think I said death.
You did.
Substance abuse.
Definitely.
Postpartum.
Yes.
Because a lot of women feel like they have no one to talk to because people, well, we're going to get into that. I know, like, it's a stigma. Like, a lot of people think women complain after they have a baby. Oh, she's just depressed, or oh, she's just.
Well, that's the norm to auto diagnose someone by, you know, their behavior. And I mean, if that's another thing that we need to talk about, because a lot of women deal with it, but they're so at times nobody's getting them the right help.
That's right.
And it becomes a mental trauma eventually that continues to grow and deteriorates the person. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And it also trickles over to the people around them, their children, their spouse, you know, their friends, because they distance themselves from their friends and feel like
from everyone.
Definitely. So, I mean, those are great topics to talk about, and it's all coming on our upcoming shows.
I have
more. It's a indefinite list to discuss. That's why you have to stay tuned. Yeah. So definitely stay tuned to the Society Scoop, and we're definitely bringing all the help that you need. We're probably not qualified or licensed, but we can find those people to help you. So stay tuned. You know, this is a brief introduction of the Society School with Triniashia, you know, and definitely just so honored to be a co-host in this episode, and future episodes too as well. So we're going to continue working together and growing the Society Scoop and continue to offer the help that you guys need. Definitely.
So stay tuned for our next episode. That will be next Thursday, 7 p.m.
Stay tuned.